It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Dog. Thanks for being with me today as we end yet another week on the channel. It is a Friday, which means it is a Masterpiece Friday, and boy do I have a masterpiece for us today. It's going to be a good one, friends. Welcome in as we celebrate Black History Month. And we look at the song What a Wonderful World. And we're going to look at the original version by Louis Armstrong and a pretty recent cover of it by Esperanza Spalding. And I am happy that you are joining me. So I think the first time that I ever remember hearing and understanding and noticing this song was when I was watching the movie Good Morning Vietnam. That movie was released in 1988. I would have been 11, 12 years old. And I remember noting the dichotomy in that movie of the song's message amid the scenes of ongoing tragedy, right? And I loved the color of the orchestral arrangement and especially of Louis' pretty singular vocal delivery. And so today we are going to be lifting up this song and Louis and Esperanza as part of our ongoing celebration of Black History Month. So Louis was born in 1901. He died in 1971. His career spanned 5 decades. His first single came out in 1923. And What a Wonderful World was pretty late in his career. He was a singer, a composer, a trumpeter, an actor, all-around innovator, especially within the jazz genre. What a Wonderful World was written by Bob Thiele and George David Weiss, both of which were professional songwriters and record producers. And Louis recorded it and released it in 1967. But I didn't realize this until I was reading in today. It was not a hit in the United States. It rose all the way to #1 in Britain, but it was largely ignored in the United States because his new record label, ABC Records, under the leadership of a guy named Larry Newton, refused to promote it. Newton had been hoping for an up-tempo number from Louis like Hello Dolly. To really jumpstart him on their new label. And he wasn't keen on how slow the song was. And so they didn't promote it. But it was really popular wherever people knew about it, right? And so the song, over the years, gradually became known to Americans. And by the time that it was used in the soundtrack for Good Morning Vietnam in 1988 and re-released as a single, it climbed into the top 40 on the Billboard charts 21 years after it was originally recorded, right? And so over the years since then, it has been covered many, many times by a wide variety of artists. As I looked in today, you've got Willie Nelson, Anne Murray, Rod Stewart, Barbra Streisand, just to name a few. And it's been used in many television shows and in movies as well. Louis returned to this song for his album Louis Armstrong and His Friends, adding a spoken word introduction to it. And that's what we're going to listen to today. And in that spoken word introduction, he addresses some criticisms that had been in the in the public square about the perceived disconnect between the song's positive outlook and the state of the world at that time. And this updated version was recorded in May of 1970, and he was in quite poor health at the time, and this would be his next to last studio session before he passed away of a heart attack in July of 1971. So, of course, I've heard the song many, many times, friends, but I don't think I've ever heard this spoken introduction to it. So that's going to be new for me. So let's take a look at What a Wonderful World, performed by Louis Armstrong. Off we go.
Some of you young folks been saying to me, "Hey, Pops."
Pops is one of his nicknames.
What a wonderful world.
What do you mean?
How about all them wars all over the place?
Wars?
You call them wonderful? And how about hunger and pollution? They ain't so wonderful either.
No, they're not.
But how about listening to old Pops for a minute? Seems to me it ain't the world that's so bad, but what we are doing to it.
Ain't the world's
and
fault.
All I'm saying is see what a wonderful world it would be if only we'd give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
Love, baby, love.
I love his
That's the
charisma.
secret. Yeah. If lots more of us loved each other,
If lots more of us
we'd
loved each
solve
other,
lots more problems.
we'd solve lots more problems.
Man, this world would be a gasser.
Gasser. That's an older
what
term.
Pops keeps saying.
All right, Pops, we hear you. And then that segues right into the recording that I remember. Fascinating.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
There's
And
6,
I think to myself,
flat 6, 2,
what a wonderful world.
1. Beautiful. A little circle of fifths turnaround
I
there.
see skies
He's an F.
of blue
Up to A in the bass.
and clouds of white.
I think F over A
The
to G
bright,
minor
blessed day,
and F.
the dark sacred night.
A7 to D minor
And I think
and down to D
myself,
flat, flat 6 and F.
what
That's
a
251.
wonderful world.
Beautiful song. Just beautiful.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces
A little flute
of
line
people
in
going
there.
by.
Beautiful orchestration.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying,
Leading tone
"I
to G
love you."
to C.
I hear babies cry.
Usually the turnaround.
I watch them grow. They'll learn much more.
I love the imagery here in the video as well.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Flat 7.
Yeah.
There's 5 of 2.
I think to myself,
2.
what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a shame that he didn't live longer. What I wouldn't give to have books on tape that he reads. I mean, his his voice is just a balm to the soul, isn't it? It's like oh, Pops is here. He's going to take care of it. You know, it's just a hug. It's a musical hug. And I remember, I talk about first hearing it with the Good Morning Vietnam. By the time I get to college, and I got to go on a choir trip in 1997 to, among other places, Lithuania. And it was one of my favorite trips I ever got to do. And we hung out for a few days in a sister city, sister university situation in northern Lithuania in a town called Šiauliai. And I remember our choir and the local choir there at the university giving kind of a joint performance. We would listen to them, they would listen to us. A bunch of the students from the university were there. It sticks in my mind all these years later. And one of the songs that we sang together was this song. And that just popped into my head. What a wonderful memory. It does bring people together if we make a point to do it. You know, it really, really does. Just great. So I was made aware as I was getting ready to do this Black History Month set of repertoire, and we definitely wanted to include this song, and one of our patrons, K-Machine, said, you know, there is a cover of this by Esperanza Spalding that has to be seen to believe. And so I'm like, all right, we'll do it. Let's bring it on. So Esperanza Spalding, she was born in 1984. She is a bassist, a songwriter, a composer. She is a Grammy winner. She is an all-around superwoman. Absolutely love her music. And back in 2012, a decade ago, she performed What a Wonderful World, backed by a pretty large choir at the Academy Awards ceremony to pay tribute to prominent actors and movie industry folks who had died that year. And as I recall, that version was really sublime and quiet and just really full of heartfelt emotions, applicable for the moment and setting that it was being performed in. But that same year is where this performance is going to come from. She performed a quite different arrangement of the song with her band, and that's the one that I am going to listen to now. This is a first-time listen for me, her version of this. She is performing with Jimmy Heath on saxophone, Danilo Perez on piano, and Vinny Colaiuta on the drums. So let's see what Esperanza does with this classic song, What a Wonderful World, from Esperanza Spalding. Here we go. And it's live. Okay.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
I'm gonna have
I see them bloom for me
big
and you.
case of stank face after listening to this. Wow, that's beautiful.
What a wonderful world.
She's in a lower key. She's a step lower than Louis' version, E flat.
Blue clouds of white, bright blessed day and the dark sacred night.
Goes to the 6, same way.
What a wonderful world.
Fun. The major thing that I hear is the metrical difference. Louis' version was in compound meter. This is put into a really lovely, simple meter groove.
On the faces of people passing by, I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you.
Oh,
I
what did they do? That was beautiful. That's flat 6 that I keep hearing, but it sounds like flat 7 now. Are they kind of vamping over flat 7? Beautiful playing. Yeah, it seems like they're vamping over D flat. I think if Louis could hear this, he'd be going, yeah. He'd love this. He'd want to play along. I love this. All the color and the voicings comes right in the middle of the keyboard. And it works that way because of our range of hearing. That's the best place to put those crunchy notes in your voicings.
So on the faces of people passing by, I see friends
Boy, she's got a lot of charisma too.
I hear babies cry and watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself,
There's the flat 6,
wonderful
2/5.
I think to myself, what wonderful,
There's that move to flat 7.
what a wonderful
I gotta remember that. That's a cool trick. Can't imagine the skill it takes to play the bass like that and sing like that at the same time. Absolute feat of musicianship. And to be that cool while doing it. Celebration of life. You know? We're setting our intentions. We're gonna know that the world is wonderful and approach our life that way, and we're just gonna have a fucking good time while we're doing it. Come on, let's choose to do that. See, that sounds like Tay, but I got whisker in my mouth. It sounds like Tay, but it was lay for that key. I think I heard that right. I love doing this. I absolutely love doing this, friends. What a privilege it is to get to just dwell on these songs, these gifts of artistry. And I really was astounded to hear and read just how little support Louis' record company gave to this song at the time. Maybe I don't know. I can't imagine it not just being immediately part of the zeitgeist of American culture, like it still is now. I mean, but it took a good 2 decades before it ever got there, and now, I mean, we're singing it all around the world. There's different versions of it, obviously, with a piece that's got such lovely progression to it, and a lot of these circle of fifths in there as well. You can do, as an arranger, you can put in a lot of color tones and tritone substitutions and chromatic substitutions for regular chords that can give these songs like this an entirely different feel and life to them. And one of the major things that was different was the metrical structure. You know, Louis is 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and Esperanza was like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It was just a completely different feel, right? What I was saying there at the end, I think, holds true. If I go back to Louis' spoken word introduction, and it seems as though that's the only thing that he recorded new. I was thinking, is this a new recording of What a Wonderful World? No, it's not. When he came back in May of 1970, it sounds like the orchestra was playing something new, sort of a vamp material as an introduction to the actual song. And what he's saying here, Some of you young folks have been saying to me, "Hey, Pops, what do you mean, what a wonderful world? How about all of them wars all over the place? You call them wonderful? How about all about the hunger and pollution? That ain't so wonderful either." Well, how about listening to old Pops for a minute? Seems to me it ain't the world that's so bad, but what we are doing to it. And damn it if that's not still true. You know, it's a wonderful place to live, right? To experience life. It's all that we know. But human behavior tends to get in the way, right, of enjoyment. And when he says, what a wonderful world it would be if only we'd give it a chance. Love, baby, love. If that's a secret, if lots more of us loved each other, and I'm adding, if we treated each other like we did truly love each other, he's saying we'd solve lots more problems, and then this world would be a gasser. And boy, that's timely encouragement for me. I hope it is for you as well. It keeps me optimistic in the face of situations where we might not be optimistic, right? So let's make the world as great a place as we can possibly make it. In the words of Louis Armstrong, love, baby, love. That's all there is, right? That now it's turned into a Beatles reaction. But no, this has been a wonderful week. We are celebrating Black History Month all month, and this is our first Masterpiece Friday. And what a way to start. What a wonderful world, sung originally by Louis Armstrong, and then we heard that Off the Hook cover by Esperanza Spalding. If you don't know Esperanza's music, you are now welcome, friends. So thanks for hanging out with me this week. We've got lots more next week, but that is all for today. I thank you for being with me, and we will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.